everyone, and welcome back to the Engler Journey podcast. Today I have someone who loves building people up here in their entrepreneurial journeys, Kendall Prior, and it's so nice to have you here today.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah. Just to start off, could you tell me a little bit about your background and how you came to UNL and got interested in the Engler program?
Yeah, so I'm actually from western Nebraska, a town called Imperial, way out west. I grew up on a farm showing sheep and goats all my life. I was heavily involved with 4-H, FFA, all the things, sports. And both of my parents came to UNL, so I have a long family history here. It was actually my last option to come to school. I thought I wanted to run away from home as far as I could, and it turns out being closer to home was the best option for me. But
Yeah, well, wonderful. So now you're kind of carrying on that journey, coming here to UNL. Yeah.
So my parents are both entrepreneurs, and they kind of raised me with that same spirit. I've always just taken the path of the most resistance, if that makes sense. I don't know why, but just growing up, I developed a heavy discipline for hard work and doing what I want to do to be successful, if that makes sense. So I'm always on the lookout for the things that I want. I never kind of stumble back and take the easy route ever. And so I think growing up on a farm and raising my own livestock really did that for me. But
Yeah, so you did 4-H and FFA, you're involved in those things. What was that like for you? Like, how did that help you coming into college?
Yeah, I think it, like I said, I think it gave me a heavy sense of discipline and some grit. I was responsible for livestock and their well-being, and if I didn't feed them, if I didn't take care of them, that was on me and nobody else. So I think that carried me into college. I was able to kind of be an adult a little bit easier. I don't think I struggled as much to leave home, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and what did you show? Did you show beef,
Sheep
cattle,
and goats.
Sheep and goats,
Sheep
okay.
and goats, yes.
Yeah. And so do you have a favorite memory from showing your sheep and goats? Something where something went wrong or something fun happened?
So I actually didn't like showing goats. I liked showing sheep more, but my older sister had showed goats, and so it kind of just fell into my lap. And I actually won senior showmanship at State Fair one year.
Wow.
And my favorite memory was meeting all of my friends and family outside the ring. And one of my best friends who would go on to win showmanship the next year came up and hugged me, and she's like, "You don't even like goats." And I was like, "I know, but it just works out in funny ways like that when you put enough hard work into it." So,
that's very cool. I mean, I always think when I did like a round robin, it was hard to show the goats because you always have to like place their feet. And I showed pigs. Okay. So that's kind of a different route.
Yes, sheep and goats are a little bit more hands-on than even beef or hogs. Like, it just takes a little bit more discipline to get them to be up to the show ready standard, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about kind of your Engler experience. I know you said your parents were both entrepreneurs. Your mom, she sells tables or rents tables.
So she has a table and chair rental company, and she's had it ever since I was little. She's felt a need in our community for that kind of thing. They were turning buildings into venues, and they needed seating in that. And so she saw that need and was like, let me jump into that, right? And so I always knew that I wanted to come to the Engler program if I came to UNL. This is one of the largest things that drew me to UNL. And I knew that I wanted to go down a path of entrepreneurship, but I also knew that I wasn't in my heart to start a small business right away. And I struggled with that the first couple years of college. I think it really became a big holding point for me in my life. I couldn't decide if I was going to jump, if I was going to hold on a little bit longer. And over the years, I've realized that my greatest purpose in entrepreneurship is supporting other entrepreneurs. And so throughout college, I've kind of had to lean into being called to serve, and I want to serve others, and I want to make sure that my people are supported as best as they can be from me. And I think that my personal fulfillment really just comes from serving other people and making sure that I can support my people as best as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that you serve people, especially when you were on the recruitment team. And I know you clean houses for an entrepreneur. So you're kind of really involved in this entire community in multiple different ways. So could you talk about your experience on the recruitment team?
Yeah, when I saw the positions open for the recruitment team, I really was interested in being able to connect with other people. It kind of also made me narrow down what my story was to share with others. I had to sit there and kind of think, what do I want to share with these young entrepreneurs that are looking to come here? How can I impact them the most? I used to kind of look for the largest impact I could leave on people, and now I've kind of stepped back and went into a space where I want to leave the most meaningful impact. I want to be able to share my story in a way that encourages people to just walk their path as it may be. Yeah,
definitely. And do you have a favorite memory from being on the recruitment team or an event that you remember going to?
I would say on the recruitment team, it was really fun to work with. I think there was a group of 7 of us, and those peers were just really awesome people. I think it was fun. We got to kind of connect about who we recruited, who we were able to meet, how they kind of shared their story with us, and I think that left a lasting impact on me. It allowed me to get closer to those entrepreneurs in the Engler program as well. And then, of course, now as a senior, I see some of them that I talk to, or I know that other members in the group have talked to, and it's really fulfilling to see them in the space and to know that they took that route.
Yeah, definitely. And I know there's so many different events that you can be involved in and different things that you can do here in the Engler program. What would you tell the students that are incoming as a senior? Like, what was some advice that you would give to them when they're coming to the Engler program?
I would honestly just say that you have to follow your path, and whether that's coming to every single event or whether that's making it to what you can, just be present. I always say, feet on the ground, like eyes wide open, right? So you always just want to be locked in wherever you're at and just being present and being able to grasp onto everything. Just be a sponge in this space. These people are awesome, rock star people in the Engler space. And they have a lot to share. There's a lot of cool stories, and that's one of the biggest things I've taken away is meeting these people, and all their stories have left a lasting mark on my life.
Yeah, I know. When even I come in here, I'm so inspired every time I come in, seeing people do all their different things in their businesses and growing their businesses just as college students, you know, just starting out. And Paul Engler, he started this community, and he was like really one of us, you know, starting out as a young entrepreneur when he bought his first heads of cattle and wanted to create some place to give back. So what would you say about his lasting impact, and did you ever get to meet Paul Engler?
I actually didn't. That's one of the things I do regret the most is not being able to meet him. But with that said, his impact has left a lasting mark on me. Like the program that he inspired has truly inspired me to do what I need to do to become the best version of myself as an entrepreneur, if that makes sense. So I'm always working to have that same level of discipline and grit and determination to really make it happen, right? We listened to Paul's story and we're so inspired by the fact that he just got it done. He found a way to get it done. And that's what I've had to just do through college. College is obviously not easy in any aspect. There's a lot of highs and lows, but being able to just get it done has been something that I've kept with me. And during those low moments, I'm always like, what would Paul have done in this moment? Would he have kept going, or would he have fallen apart? So,
Grit is one of our biggest pillars here in the program. And I know that you said you clean houses and you're also working in a vineyard, right?
Yes.
So what are those two experiences like?
Yeah, so I actually clean houses for an entrepreneur. She's a younger gal who has a couple different college degrees, but the 9-to-5 just wasn't for her. And so she started cleaning houses in Lincoln. And I also work as a day of coordinator at a local vineyard in Palmyra. And that's been really enlightening this summer too. But I've cleaned houses all throughout college pretty much. And I will say it's taught me a level of grit I don't think a lot of 22-year-olds possess these days. That's a low job on the totem pole to a lot of people, but it's taught me a lot. And it's also allowed me to immerse myself in the community of Lincoln. I get to see kind of outside of campus and UNL itself. I get to kind of connect with these younger families and these people with really cool stories. You know, a house tells a lot about who you are and how you live in that space and how you create that space. It can kind of tell your story for you without you having to say any words, which I think is really cool. But I will say, it's taught me a lot of discipline. It's not a job a lot of people would take, but it's allowed me to do some really cool things in college. The vineyard was the same way. I never saw myself in hospitality. I am a business management major. But the people at the vineyard are just rock stars. And it's been really cool to kind of see how weddings in particular start from nothing. It starts from an empty room and it becomes this magical day for people to connect around tables. And, you know, these bride and grooms just really make this venue magic. And so that's been really fun. I've really enjoyed that. And I think that's part of my calling is being able to serve them on one of the biggest days of their lives. So,
yeah, no, definitely. Everything sounds like everything you do, you're just trying to serve others, and that really fills your cup and your day.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you talked about weddings and cleaning houses. What do you think those two have in common?
I will say, I think that wedding days are always really tense, right? Your wedding day can be really stressful, and you just have to go through the motions, and that's the same thing when you're cleaning your house. A lot of people say they can't clean their houses because they get distracted or right, but I just look at it as a task, and you just have to go through it day by day. It's also a mindless job for me. I have a lot going on in my head through college, and so cleaning allows me to just do the job, get the job done. It doesn't really involve a lot of brain work, which has been nice. I will say weddings are a different cat, right? You have some really stressed brides from really stressed family, that kind of thing. But it's allowed me to use my problem solving skills to kind of tap into a different part of my brain. I've been able to kind of fill my cup this summer in a different way because I've had to be more creative, and I love that. So
yeah, exactly. And I know there's a lot of courses here in Engler that help you be creative and think outside the box. What has been one of your favorite classes you've taken?
Yeah, my favorite class I've taken so far is Roadmap. It's a module with Hallie. When I took it, I was a sophomore in college, and I had this really pretty big 10-year plan that was just going to work perfectly, and I was going to have no bad days. It very quickly fell apart when I was younger in college, and I think just taking that class has taught me that whatever road I'm taking down a map, I gotta just pivot when needed, right? College teaches, everyone tells you to pivot in college when needed, but the art of learning how to pivot smoothly and how to have some grace with that is something that I've developed, and that class is what kind of inspired me to lean a little deeper and trust that there is a bigger plan than just mine. Oh,
yeah, definitely. I know I took that class too. Yeah. And it was very, impactful on me because I was just starting out in the Engler program, and I was able to kind of look at what I thought my plan would be, but it pivots and it takes different roads and doors open and other opportunities come your way. So
absolutely.
Definitely. Who would you say has been one of your best mentors throughout the program or just in general?
Yeah, I have a lot of people that I hold to a high place in the Engler program. One of them being Dave Lamb. He's awesome. And I think it really I went on the study abroad to Spain with him in May. And he was one of the leaders on the group. And he's so insightful when it comes to entrepreneurship and businesses and real estate and just life. But being able to see him and his wife, Terry, outside of that, he was so insightful when we were in a completely different country. And the way he carries himself, always learning, always grasping, he was truly just a sponge. And so that's really cool to see. He actually knew my mom when she was in college. She taught a class for him. So it's just kind of a full circle moment for me too. I think it's been really cool to kind of be able to gain some of that insight from him the same way that my mom did. I love her. She's one of my favorite people, and she kind of inspires me the most. And so very full circle moment on that. I would also say all of my peers in the program have really inspired me to be better and to do bigger things and to want more for myself. Like I said, there's a lot of cool people in this program, and there's a lot of people that are doing things outside the box, and I've just done everything I can to be a peer to them as well.
Yes. And I know you said you traveled abroad. What was that like? What was that experience like?
It was fabulous, truly fabulous. It was so eye-opening, the entire experience. I had never left the country before. This was my first time. And it was something that I'll never forget. The group that we went with, we still all talk about it to this day. I don't think I'll ever stop talking about it. But like I said previously, just feet on the ground, eyes wide open. That was me the entire trip. I was just soaking in every story that these people had to tell. The producers, they shared with us one thing that's really stuck with me. And he was a wine producer outside of Barcelona in Spain. And he kind of shared with us that it's not what's in the bottle of wine that makes it a good bottle of wine. It's the story of the bottle. And it's the story of how that bottle came to be. There were specifically 3 bottles that had older ladies of his community. And they were pillars to him of the community. And he shared with us that their story is what means more on the bottle. And I think that's something that I can take into any aspect of life, right? Yeah. It's the story that matters. It's not always what we're doing. It's how it's going to impact us and impact others. So
yeah. No, definitely. I mean, that sounds like so much fun, just getting to go and experience something totally different. So I know that you've been talking throughout this podcast about leadership and serving others. I know that you have had a lot of leadership experience here on campus and in the Nebraska Agricultural Youth Council. What has that experience been like?
Yeah, so the same time that I was serving on recruitment team for the Engler program, I was serving as the president of the Nebraska Ag Youth Council. The NAYC has meant a lot to me through college. I think it's gotten me through some tougher times in school, but it's also allowed me to connect and use my purpose of serving others. We connect with over 250 kids every summer, and you just get to see the transformation from them from junior to senior year. A lot of them come to UNL too, and so then I've been able to see these people on campus and kind of connect with them later in life, and they've always just shared their story of counselors have made the biggest difference on why they came to UNL. They wanted to be like us, and I think that's the most rewarding thing as an entrepreneur is having somebody look up to you. So I will say serving on both of those at the same time was really rewarding for me. I was able to kind of connect my story even deeper with more kids, more people, and I was able to just share it after I narrowed it down. And it's even changed since then, but the same context of just being able to serve others, and my name doesn't always need to be in the shining lights for me to be thriving behind, right? I can serve others without having to be in the center of the room. So,
Definitely. And I know that you all wear a starfish pin, right?
Yes, we
What's
do.
the meaning of that?
Yeah, so our advisor actually shared a story with us that an old man was walking along a beach and he saw a kid throwing starfish back into the sea. There were a ton of starfish on the beach that were washed up or whatever. He was throwing one in at a time, and the old man said, "What's the point? You can't save them all." And he said, "I can save this one." And so he threw the starfish back in, and we kind of just carried that throughout council. Like, we may not be able to catch every person that comes through NAYI, but if we can impact one, then that's enough. That's enough for us as counselors. If we can impact one other person on council, that's enough. And it's the meaning just behind you can serve people even though it doesn't look like it's leaving a big impact. Yeah.
Yes, and I mean, that's kind of what it's like in the Engler program. If you just say something nice to somebody or talk about their business, you're making an impact on that person, even if you don't know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, talking about Engler, like, what would it be, a song or movie or book or something that would relate to what you think Engler is?
Yeah. So, I did a lot of thinking on this. I shared that with Olivia earlier. I would say the song "The Fall" by Cody Johnson is one that really resonated with me for the entire program, because the song kind of talks about how he felt headstrong right but dead end wrong. So you kind of have those highs and lows through college, especially if you're a young entrepreneur. You're doing a lot more than a typical college kid. And so you kind of have to just embrace the lows to fully feel the greatness of the highs, if that makes sense. You have to be willing to fall to get back up, if that makes sense. And so I listened to it on the way over here, and I was like, that really resonated with me, and I know that it can probably resonate with others that are in the program, that the lows are worth it once you get to the top.
Yeah, no, perfectly said, perfectly said. And 20 years from now, what do you think you'll be most grateful for being in the Engler program through all of your experiences?
Yeah, I think it would just be the fact that I was a part of something that's larger than me, honestly. And the program will have a lasting impact on me. And I know that I have had a lasting impact on parts of the program. And so I think that's what will stick with me. It will also just the grit and the determination of all these people I've met. I hope to have some of these relationships 20 years from now and just see these people thriving in their businesses. Even if I still don't have my own business, I will always just be a supporter of young entrepreneurs.
Yes, definitely. And it's been so great to have you here today. I've loved hearing your entire story and how you serve people through everything that you do. And I can't wait to see how you keep building people up throughout the future.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you.